Greetings to everyone watching me at this very material time. My name is Richard, and I'm here to look at another critical, issue. We took our critical lenses out, and we were able to pick up a certain story, a very, very, very interesting story, and a story that really, in one way or the other, whichever way you look at it, affects our very existence on this beautiful planet Earth. What is the story about? What is it about? The story is all about a ban on gender identity and sexual orientation. All right? It's the banning of the teaching, they say, of gender identity and sexual orientation in schools. And this was signed into bill by the Florida governor, all right, by name Ron DeSantis. So Ron DeSantis has passed this law, and then he's strongly fighting to make sure that the state of Florida and its schools do not teach gender identity and sexual orientation. The first question that came to mind is, what motivated him to do that? Because I can remember that there's already a law in the state of Florida banning the teaching of gender identity up until grade 3 or 4 or so. Yes, grade 3. But now, this current law is extending it to the 12th grade. Which means that you cannot teach a child, or you cannot teach anyone that is within the 12th grade about gender identity and sexual orientation. What has really prompted him to come out like this? Is it political? Is it because he's vying for political position? For me, that is the first question that comes to mind, because our politicians like to study the terrain and then look at what people will easily support, and they use that to launch their own personal political agendas. So often, if the political atmosphere is friendly to, let's say, gays and lesbians, being given full right, politicians find ways and means to then rally behind that idea and then start passing laws here and there. And if they also find out that the opposite is favorable, they also start, talking about it. And so politicians always have a way of playing with issues. They don't really care about what happens to us or the general population. They care about what the general population will jump onto to make them popular, all right, so that they can have their political ambitions actualized. But beside that, is it good? Now we're going to ask critical questions that will require critical answers from you. Draw your own conclusion. Is it good for our children to be taught about gender identity and sexual orientation in schools? It's a question that is mind-blowing. It's worth thinking of. If you ask me, I think it's best if parents can teach their children about some of these things when they come out. But if then it has to be taught in school, then that's another argument for another day. And I've seen that corporate society have come against him for passing this law. And one of this society or corporate entity is what is Disney, the Disney company. And of course, the Disney company employs a lot of people in that very state. You know, if you look at the Disney cartoons now, you'll find out that they even have cartoons for gays and lesbians. I'm wondering one day my daughter will find out that her favorite cartoon, Elsa, is a gay, and she will come to ask me a question as to why Elsa is a gay or why Elsa is acting in one or two ways. And of course, if she comes directly to me, I'll give her a very good answer and make sure that she's able to know the truth from the orchestrated or from the twisted truth. But the danger is that maybe she might not ask me. She may go out to ask somebody who will have a different explanation to that particular cartoon. And either way, she will still be educated by that person. Maybe a friend, maybe a friend's sibling, or maybe a teacher, or any other person away from the home. And whatever she's told, she might pick it as the truth. That is if she does not come back to me to ask, because clearly, if she comes to me to ask, I will educate her in the way that I know best. Right. So how did this thing of LGBT even came into our society? To the point that we have to even allow it to be taught in schools. And look, by asking these questions does not mean that I'm against anyone that identifies himself or herself as a gay or as a lesbian. No, I'm not against anyone who is a gay and a lesbian. Okay, of course, I've got quite a number of friends who are gays and lesbians, and I've never had issues with any of them, and I will never have issues with any of them, because my point of argument is that there are two things in life. There are chances and there are choices. These two things are very necessary in our human endeavors. Now, if we take our parent, for instance, we say chances makes our parents. And if we take friends, we say it is by choice that we have our friends. So we can always change our friends, but we can't change our parents. That is just by the way. Now, if you look at nature itself, you will see that there are mountains. There's nothing you can do with a mountain. It's still going to remain a mountain. All right? There are oceans, there are rivers, there are trees, and so on and so forth. You can't do anything to those natural entities because that is how they were created and formed and will not change. A mango tree will forever be a mango tree. An orange tree will forever be an orange tree. But because of the advancement of knowledge, today, some people can actually change a mango tree into something else. But that means the natural state or the naturalness of that particular tree has been altered. So, a man is born a man, a woman is born a woman. If anyone decides that he no longer or she no longer wants to be that which she or he was born to be, that is fine. That is the person's choice. And we cannot hate the person for making that choice. A lot of our friends have gone to try it and they've come out of it. And that is a nice thing about choices. If you don't fight people who make choices, they will test the choices they make and they will come back to make a refined or take a refined decision on their previous decision. So there's no need hating on anyone. We'll give them love because we are all humans. But does it then mean we should allow those things to be taught in our schools? That is the question that requires an answer in the future. We'll see you again. Bye.